Welcome back to the channel, and if this is your first time coming across this channel, please do it to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell, and don't forget to leave a comment below. And to our returning subscribers, please do it to keep watching. You know the usual, leave a comment below and definitely will attend to our comment. In here we discuss everything relating to smart money concepts and to keep you profitable. For our today's topic, we'll be looking at smart money secret exposed. So a lot of traders, when they are faced with the issues of having multiple order blocks or having multiple zones to take a trade from, they get so confused that they don't even know which zone to actually take a trade from. So in this class today, I'll be explaining the reasons and why and how to get the right zone to take your setup from. So as you all know, we always start from what? Illustration before going to the main chart. So let's go there. Let's start with the illustration first. So in this scenario, you have a bullish market trending to the upside. And with our normal demand and supply concept, what are we supposed to do? We want to see what? When you have a break of structure above this high, you want to take your trade from this point. But a lot of times you see that what market will pierce through this zone, making that zone an invalid zone. So what are you supposed to do? Now, when you have cases like this, or when you have multiple zones, first you have to at least make sure you pick out like two major zones that are more visible and you feel that are more realistic. First, it should be the zone that contains what liquidity before the zone. The second one should be like the extreme zone. So in this scenario, I will get to explain what you should do and what to look out for. So let's look at the chart now. So if you have a break at this point, let me say this is the last break of structure you had, you want to see something like market creating what? Maybe an inducement or giving you what? A liquidity. So you already know that okay, this is here what? Inducement. So this inducement is what will validate this order block to be a valid one or to hold. Because if there is no liquidity or presence of inducement before your zone, then that zone is likely not to hold. So if you have something like this before that zone, it gives the zone more probability or a high tendency that this zone is going to hold. So let's look at this example now. You have this inducement at this point, and what market come to take out this inducement before tapping into this other block. And where should be our target? This should be our target. That's it. So what in that scenario, with the presence of what liquidity or inducement in or before what your order block, it makes your order block more valid, which what gives you a high probability setup. So here we are on AUD USD 1 hour time frame, and we already have what have two zones is more valid. So already you have this zone that led to this break of structure at this point. You have another zone at this point, and you have what your demand zone here. Now looking at this zone and looking at this one, which one do you think have high probability setup or tendency of holding? Look at it, just look at it, glance through. Which will you choose, the first one or the second one? I think for me, I'll be going with what? The second one, which is this one below. Now, why didn't I go with this one? That is the reason we have to look at now. Why didn't I go with this one? I didn't go with this one because if you look at this zone, we have what? A push to the upside, which led to market break of structure. We have a fair value gap. There is momentum valid, but what? There is no liquidity before that zone. Now, if you look at this one, you have this point which will serve as what? My inducement. I have this wick below here which will serve as what? My liquidity, making this zone a valid zone for me. So I will end up what? Marking here as my liquidity. Here will be my liquidity. I will take out this one, but let's replay the chart and see what we'll have. If you look at it, you'll see that what this zone is already taken out, but still let's see what the chart will give to us. So you see the price playing forward. See the candlestick coming down. Okay, so let's see what price does at this zone here when price comes into this zone. Please watch carefully so you understand what I'm trying to explain, because a lot of times a lot of traders have been faced with this particular issue where what you think is all zone you see you get to trade from. No, you have to always learn how to what practice backtest so you get to understand the whole point of what the liquidity in market trading, because the market doesn't move without liquidity. So with the concept of liquidity, you will understand better. See the price coming down. Okay, so at this point, let's see. If you look at this point, don't forget this was the original zone we had, and what did you see? Market pierced through, despite that what you had all of this liquidity build up. That's because what there's a liquidity below this zone. There's a liquidity below this zone. So let's have this and let's place our buy order and see what the market will have given to us. So at this point, our entry here on the other block, we have what a stop loss right below. We can use our, let's say, 15 pips as our SL. Let's target at least 1:3. You know how I do it here. Okay, let's go with 1:3 and see what happens. So at this point, we are tagged in. Okay, let's put price forward. Okay, we return back to our zone. That should be like a confirmation on 15 minutes time frame. Price was pushing to the upside, and what that was what TP hit. So you can actually see that what knowing how to mark your liquidity, knowing how to mark your other blocks, knowing how to what trade from multiple zones will save you a lot from what incurring more losses in the market. So this is the example. So do well to what take your time, backtest over your free time or over the weekend, and you also see for yourself that what this works in the market perfectly well. So do well to keep practicing, do well to keep watching, do well to always what stay tuned to the channel. And if you have any question, always ask in our comment section. We're always here to reply you and to make sure our community stay profitable in the financial market.